The stars are aligning. It's time.
I feel it. But are we ready?
Together, we can face anything.
Then let's go. To the stars.
The galaxy had many powerful empires, but few could rival the grandeur of the Celestian Dominion, streeting across thousands of star systems. The Dominion was ruled by Emperor Kaelor, a monarch whose authority had remained unchallenged for over 2 centuries. His fleets controlled major hyperspace routes. His armies defended countless worlds. Entire civilizations sought his favor. Yet despite his power, Kaelor worried constantly about one thing. His daughter, Princess Aria, was the only heir to the Dominion. Intelligent, compassionate, and beloved by billions. Unlike many members of the royal family, she preferred visiting distant colonies rather than remaining inside palace walls. She spent her time helping frontier worlds, meeting ordinary citizens, and understanding the lives of those she would someday rule. The emperor admired her spirit. His advisors hated it. Every journey exposed the princess to danger, and danger was never far away in the galaxy, especially now. A growing pirate alliance known as the Crimson Syndicate had begun attacking trade routes near Dominion space. Entire convoys disappeared. Military patrols vanished. Rumors spread that someone was secretly funding the pirates. Many believed a larger threat was approaching. No one realized how soon disaster would arrive. On the remote colony world of Talaris Prime, Princess Aria attended the opening of a new medical facility. Thousands gathered to welcome her. Children waved banners. Citizens cheered. The visit seemed peaceful. Then the attack began. Without warning, explosions erupted across the city. Dropships descended from the clouds. Heavily armed pirates flooded the streets. Panic spread instantly. Royal guards rushed to protect the princess. Blaster fire echoed through the city. Civilians fled in every direction. Within minutes it became clear this wasn't an ordinary raid. The attackers had one objective: capture Princess Aria. The Crimson Syndicate had planned everything. Their intelligence was precise, their timing perfect. They knew exactly where the princess would be. One by one, royal security teams were overwhelmed. The escort convoy was destroyed. Communication systems failed. The pirates closed in. Aria found herself trapped inside a damaged transport terminal, with only a handful of guards remaining. The situation was hopeless, until a human appeared. His name was Ethan Ryder, a former Terran Federation military officer. After leaving active service, he worked as a security consultant on frontier worlds. At least, that was the official story. When the attack began, Ethan happened to be nearby inspecting colony defenses. Most people ran from danger. Ethan moved toward it. Inside the terminal, he quickly assessed the situation. Multiple pirate squads, dozens of hostiles, limited exits, a frightened princess. Bad odds, but not impossible. The surviving guards stared at him. "Who are you?" one demanded. "Ethan Ryder. Military? Used to be." The guard laughed bitterly. "Then today is your unlucky day." Ethan looked through a shattered window. The pirates were approaching. "No," he said calmly. "I think it's theirs." What happened next became legendary. Ethan organized the remaining defenders in seconds. Barricades were established, defensive positions assigned, expulsor routes identified. His confidence was contagious. The terrified guards suddenly found themselves following orders from a stranger. Then the pirates attacked. Wave after wave slammed into the terminal. Each assault failed. Ethan seemed to anticipate every move, every tactic, every weakness. Hours passed. The defenders should have been overwhelmed. Instead, they held. When ammunition ran low, Ethan personally led counterattacks. When enemy forces breached the perimeter, he pushed them back. Again and again. Princess Aria watched in amazement. She had seen elite soldiers before, but never someone like him. He fought with incredible skill. Yet what impressed her most wasn't his ability. It was his determination. Every time the situation worsened, Ethan remained calm, focused, unshakable. For the first time since the attack began, Aria believed they might survive. Then disaster struck. A pirate gunship destroyed part of the terminal. The explosion collapsed an entire section of the building. Debris rained down. The floor beneath Aria cracked. Before anyone could react, she fell. 100 meters below lay twisted metal and burning wreckage. Death seemed certain. Then a hand grabbed hers. Ethan, using one arm, he clung to exposed support beams. Using the other, he held the princess. The strain was enormous. Metal groaned around them. The support structure began failing. Several guards shouted in panic. "Ethan, let her go. You'll both die." The human ignored them slowly, painfully. He pulled Aria upward. Every movement pushed his strength to the limit. Finally, they reached safety. Seconds later, the structure collapsed entirely. The crowd stood speechless. Princess Aria stared at the human who had just risked his life for hers. "You saved me." Ethan shrugged. Seemed like the right thing to do. Reinforcements eventually arrived. The pirates retreated. The colony survived. News of the attack spread rapidly across the Dominion, but one story dominated every headline. A human had saved the princess, not once, multiple times. Within days, Ethan Ryder became famous. The Emperor personally summoned him to the capital. Ethan wasn't excited. He preferred quiet frontier worlds to royal ceremonies. Unfortunately, refusing an emperor wasn't a realistic option. A week later, he stood inside the imperial palace. Golden towers stretched toward the stars. Nobles filled enormous halls. Military commanders watched him carefully. Most were curious. Some were suspicious. Princess Aria seemed genuinely happy to see him. The Emperor was less predictable. Kaelor studied Ethan silently. For several uncomfortable minutes, nobody spoke. Then the Emperor smiled. "You have my gratitude. Thank you, Your Majesty. You saved my daughter's life." "I did what anyone should have done." The Emperor laughed. "No, you did what very few would have done." The room grew quiet. Then Kaelor said something nobody expected, including Ethan. "I believe the Dominion and humanity should become closer allies." That seemed reasonable until he continued. "And I believe that alliance should begin with you and my daughter." Silence filled the chamber. Envelope silence. Even the nobles looked shocked. Princess Aria nearly dropped her ceremonial tablet. Ethan blinked twice. "Your Majesty, are you proposing what I think you're proposing?" "I am." The announcement shook the galaxy. Political analysts debated non-stop. News networks exploded with speculation. Humanity was stunned. The Dominion was stunned. The royal family was stunned. Even Arya and Ethan were stunned. Neither had expected their lives to change so dramatically. At first, both resisted. The proposal felt absurd. They barely knew each other, yet Emperor Kaelor remained persistent. His reasoning was simple. The galaxy was changing. Ancient rivalries threatened stability. New threats emerged beyond explored space. The future required stronger alliances. And more importantly, he trusted Ethan, something few outsiders could claim. Over the following months, Ethan and Arya spent more time together. They traveled, worked on diplomatic projects, visited colonies. Gradually, they became friends. Then something more. The relationship developed naturally, without pressure, without politics. For the first time, the impossible proposal no longer seemed impossible. Then the galaxy faced a crisis. Deep beyond known territory, an alien species known as the Varkish emerged. Unlike ordinary civilizations, the Varkish possessed highly advanced technology and a deeply aggressive philosophy. They conquered everything they encountered. Negotiation meant weakness, compassion meant failure, peace meant surrender. Within months, multiple frontier systems fell. Entire fleets vanished. Fear spread rapidly. The Dominion mobilized. Humanity mobilized. But military projections looked grim. The Varkesh appeared unstoppable. Then Ethan discovered something important. During his military career, he had participated in classified exploration missions. One mission had encountered ancient ruins left behind by a forgotten civilization. The ruins contained strategic knowledge capable of countering Varkesh technology. Knowledge nobody else possessed. Because Ethan had been there. Because Ethan remembered. Military leaders immediately requested his assistance. What followed changed history. Ethan coordinated a coalition unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Humans, Celestians, former rivals, independent worlds, everyone united. Using ancient tactical principles hidden for centuries, Ethan designed strategies the Varkesh never anticipated. Fleet after fleet achieved victories previously considered impossible. The invaders began retreating. For the first time, the Varkesh experienced defeat. The final confrontation occurred above the world of Novaris. Hundreds of thousands of ships filled space. The largest battle in recorded history. At its center stood Ethan Ryder. Not as a king, not as a ruler, but as the strategist holding the alliance together. The battle lasted 2 days. When it ended, the Varkesh threat was broken. The galaxy was safe. And Ethan's reputation had become legendary. 1 year later, peace flourished once again. The Dominion celebrated. Humanity celebrated. The alliance grew stronger than ever. Inside the Imperial Palace, a ceremony unlike any before took place. Representatives from thousands of worlds attended. This time, however, they weren't celebrating a military victory. They were celebrating a union. Princess Aria stood beside Ethan beneath a sky filled with stars, the same stars that had nearly witnessed her death. the same stars that now witnessed a new beginning. Emperor Kaelor looked proudly at both of them. Years earlier, Ethan Ryder had been an ordinary human living on the frontier. Now he stood beside the future ruler of one of the galaxy's greatest empires, not because of wealth, not because of status, but because of courage. Because when danger came, he acted. When others hesitated, he stepped forward. And when a princess needed saving, he risked everything. As celebrations echoed across the capital, Aria smiled at Ethan. "Do you ever think about how strange all of this is?" Ethan laughed. Every single day, the princess squeezed his hand. "Any regrets?" He looked around at the palace, at the crowds, at the future waiting ahead, then he smiled. Not a single one. And across the galaxy, countless civilizations celebrated the story of a human who saved a princess's life and changed destiny forever.